Hey black belt students, today we're going to be going through part of our whole entire grappling series, but we have a flow that we've been working on this cycle that's taken out of the grappling series needed for your second degree. So we wanted to go through the chunks that we've been working on in class so you had an opportunity to at least review them at home. Of course, we definitely recommend using a person, so if you have a family member that wants to follow along or just make a couple extra classes, that's definitely going to be the best way to train for grappling. So we're going to go through it twice. Once is where Shihan Laird's going to be mainly the person doing or executing the passes and the submissions and things like that. And then we'll switch roles, and then I'll kind of guide you through it with a little bit of, verbal details as I'm doing it as well. So follow along at home or sit back and watch, and let us know if you guys need help in the school the next time you see us. All right, so we're trying our best to stay on camera, of course, with jiu-jitsu and stuff that moves all around. So we're gonna take a couple of the basics, and if we need to readjust, we'll kind of adjust back in the center point of the camera. But where we're starting from is the guard. And so I'm gonna be close to Shihan Laird, and he's gonna have his legs wrapped around my waist, and his ankles are locked behind me, okay? So all this stuff can be done on either side, so you guys follow along and then do which side feels more comfortable for you when you're working with a partner. So step number one is I'm gonna grab onto his belt. If there's no belt there, I would just use my fist, push down. I don't wanna use my hand because that leaves me liable for like wrist locks and stuff like that. So I'm gonna step up with the same side of the side that I pushed down on his hip. I'm gonna push my hand on his other leg, and I'm gonna stand up into a rear horse stance with that outside leg, okay? So one leg is further back than the other. I'm gonna drive that leg all the way down to the ground, and then basically punch the mat. I could put my hand flat too, but I'm putting it right behind his knee. From there, I'm gonna reach underneath and grab, or get underneath this other leg, reach all the way across and grab onto his collar. If he doesn't have one, I would just kind of grab his shoulder. From there, I'm gonna kind of sprawl out, leaving lots of pressure on his leg, and eventually that leg will pass. From there, I'm gonna go to side control, or what we call the cage position. Elbows are on the outside of his body, on his hip and head, and then my knees on the other side kind of match my elbows. From here, I'm gonna get into kind of a traditional side control position, and I'm gonna hold on for a few seconds. And he's just gonna move around and make sure that I have a good base. Once I feel him stop moving, I'll go back to the cage. Now let's slide this way just a little bit, sir, because I know that I'm gonna get off camera for this one. So from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch our base. So I'm gonna take my hips, I'm gonna turn them so that I'm on my side. From there, I'm gonna push my rear end away, trying to get that arm as close as I can to his head so he can't move. Grab the outside leg or gi pant, and then from there, I'm gonna pull it over to where I can get my outside foot over his knee, using that heel to pull myself up to mount. I'm gonna wanna sprawl nice and wide. I'm gonna get my heels up underneath of his legs, okay? And I'll show you a couple of small things without a person in the way as well. Now from here, he's gonna try and turn one way. I'm gonna let that arm slide out. I'm gonna hold his head nice and tight to my body so he can't roll. He's gonna go the other way. I do the same thing. Notice that this hand over here is really sprawled out, and I'm trying to pull that head to my chest. From there, he doesn't like that, so he pushes up on my chest. So I'm gonna swim to block the arms, one then the other. And he does the same thing again, one then the other. Now we're going into the arm bar, so he pushes up on my chest. I'm gonna push the arm across his body, and I'm gonna get nice and heavy with my chest. From here, the side that I pushed, that leg is gonna go up nice and high. The higher I can get it, the better. So even if I'm here, from here I'm gonna scoop onto these arms. If I get both, cool. If I just get one, that's fine too. I'm gonna swing my leg around into this S mount position. I'm gonna put my hand over by his hip as I swing my leg over. Now when I go back, I should lose the far arm and I should keep the close arm. I'm gonna try and keep his thumb pointed up to the sky, pinch my knees together, and pull back for the armbar. Now once the armbar happens, I'm gonna come back and pretend like it didn't happen. He's gonna grab onto his own bicep, hook underneath my leg. Okay, this is gonna keep me from being able to pry and stretch that arm out. He's gonna push the leg over the top of his head. Now he's gonna try and get really heavy on that leg with his shoulders. From there, he just turns into me. And we're back where we started, in the guard. Ooh, thank you, sir. So a couple of things. The main one that was tricky to see is the mounted position. When you're mounted, your partner in the back, your heels want to hook under them. So if I could have you down, sir, head facing the red wall. So the mount isn't just here where my feet are on the ground. What I want to try and do is get heavy on my hands, and I'm going to bring my heels up underneath of his legs. I'm going to try and touch my heels together and bring them to my own rear end. That would be what I want. From there, I can really use my hips to give him lots of pressure in the center. But if you notice, my heels were coming up underneath of his legs here. So thank you, sir. That was one of the things that I feel like might not have been able to see well on camera. But of course, if you guys do have questions, let us know. We'd love to help you guys out. But keep practicing, and we'll see you guys on the mat.